Happy Wednesday, folks. It's that time of the week again. Welcome to EUNOIA. It's Sable Danielle, your spiritual mentor and host. Today we're going to talk about the importance of time. I came across this quote. I don't remember who wrote it, but the quote is very powerful. You'll never understand the value of a moment until it's a memory. Unknown. I think that we all know that time is important, but until you have a real reminder, sometimes I think it's easy to get caught up in the moment and take time for granted. To expect that we always have more time to do the things that we want to do and talk to the people we want to talk to or accomplish what you want to accomplish. I'm not saying this to get you to rush into anything, but I'm pointing this out to make sure that we utilize and appreciate the time that we have. One of the hardest lessons I've learned in life is the value of time. I realized that my entire life I've unintentionally taken time for granted. I didn't truly appreciate it. I just knew that there'd always be more time. There's always tomorrow, right? Another opportunity? Yeah, sure, but not really. We will never get that exact moment back. Circumstances will never be exactly the same. Something will always be different, which means opportunities and experiences may differ too. You can't make up for lost time. You can only choose to maximize your time today. I lived in Illinois until the year I turned 28. I remember going downtown Chicago often with my family as a kid, and I really cherish those moments. As I got older, I went less and less. I always wanted to go because there's no city like Chicago, and summertime shy is one of a kind. But I often put it off because I was waiting for others to ride with me, and I told myself I can always go next week. The problem with that is, the next weeks ahead, I still didn't go. I just kept coming up with more excuses and reasons as to why I had more time to wait. Fast forward to 2015, I ended up moving across the country to California. As time passed in California, I saw the city of Oakland and San Francisco and realized that those cities just weren't doing it for me. Although every city has its own beauty, there's nothing like the city of Chicago. It looks different, the culture is different, it feels different, the food is different, the entire vibe is just different. And I realized that I didn't maximize my time there, and I wish that I would have. I now live on the West Coast and have no desire to live anywhere else, especially a location that has a traditional winter. I can no longer just drive to the lake or walk down State Street. I can't just pick up and go to Millennium Park or enjoy the delicious food that Chicago has to offer. I can no longer walk around the city and feel the hustle and bustle that I'm used to, or hear the Bucket Boys or the Chicago lingo as I'm walking down Michigan Avenue, enjoying the views of our beautiful skyline. All that time that I thought I had to enjoy those moments and things is no longer available to me. Not as conveniently as it was before, at least. I missed out on the opportunities that I had to experience those things and to truly enjoy my city before I moved away, and I wish that I would have. That's just one aspect. I also feel like I didn't spend enough time with the people that I loved before I left. I wasn't social enough. I've always been kind of hermity, but especially when I'm in a relationship. I was once someone who had tunnel vision when in a relationship. When I'm in it, and that's my main focus. I didn't establish any boundaries with myself or any of my exes, really, because I wasn't strong enough and I didn't know better. And although I believe that you experience things for a reason, that is one of my biggest regrets. Because I chose to have tunnel vision, I missed out on other awesome relationships and experiences, but it didn't hit me until I moved away and couldn't access those people like I wish I was able to. The distance became a lot more real. I missed my Chicago people. I wanted to be able to pull up on my cousins. I wanted to be able to pop up and kick it at my sisters. I wanted to attend the family Christmas Eve dinners where we took photos and enjoyed time together. I wanted to spend quality time with my nephews and attend all of the events that I shied away from because of my relationship or where I was at mentally. But I couldn't because I already moved away and there was no going back. As I'm saying this, I hope it doesn't sound like I regret my move, because I don't. My move was honestly the best thing to happen to me. Definitely not the easiest road traveled, but I needed all of the experiences that I had in order to make me a stronger woman, to understand myself and really get to the position where I'm striving for greatness, achieving my goals and living up to my potential. So I don't regret my move at all. I just regret not knowing how important time really is. In hindsight, these are some of the things that I wish I have realized about time and how I was maneuvering through life. When I left, my nephews were 5 and 3. They are now 9 and 7, and seeing them grow really puts time into perspective for me. I missed out on such fun years with them because I chose to move. I spent a lot of time with them before I moved, but once I moved, I felt like I didn't have enough TT and nephew memory-making moments. They're never going to be that little again. They're growing into such amazing little men, and being the emotional being that I am, I sometimes reflect on the time that I missed. That was the hardest part about my move, and I knew it would be, but thinking about the missed time still makes me emotional sometimes. Now that I can, I make sure that I see them as much as possible, being there for milestones, fun events, or weekends just because are important to me. Overall, the reason that we are currently in a shelter-in-place sucks, but selfishly, I've been enjoying it. I recognize I'm in a different position than some people. I'm blessed enough to be able to be with my family and still work normally, but this shelter-in-place has allowed me to spend so much valuable time with the little boys that mean so much to me. I've never spent this much time with them, ever. We basically are living together. I get to spend every day with my nephews, do schoolwork with them, walk my dogs with them, play around, and have so many conversations. I've laughed so much since I've been here. I won't make the same mistake twice. That's not what I do. I learned hard lessons about time, and I am maximizing every moment with these people. When I was younger, I was in such a rush to move out and have my own when I felt stable enough to do so. But knowing what I know now about time, part of me thinks back wishing I would have waited a little bit longer to move out and become an adult. I would have had more Halo nights with my brother, more family movie nights and dinner conversations. I would have had more of what matters to me most, family time. I love traveling and I've wanted to travel the world so bad. For at least the past 4 years, I've been telling myself that I'm going to take myself on a trip for my birthday and start traveling. I've made excuses as to why I can't make traveling a priority, and now it's 2020 and I still haven't taken myself on a birthday trip, or even been anywhere tropical as an adult. Now that I feel like I can make traveling a priority and have decided to do so, we can't even travel anywhere because of this damn pandemic, and who knows when it'll be safe enough to travel comfortably again. How ironic is that? That just goes to show why we can't take time or our freedom for granted. I could have been traveling and exploring the world if I made the decision to prioritize that. But time just keeps passing. I keep getting older, and there are things that I know I could have been done, but I didn't appreciate time back then like I do now, and I didn't maximize it. When I first moved to California, I met a free spirit that I vibed with right off the bat. We had similar personalities, except she's much more outgoing than me. She was familiar with my hometown, lived where I just moved to, and she happened to work right by me. She was my first Bay Area friend and still is my homie, but even thinking back on our friendship, it could have been so much better than what it is now. When I moved here, it was the perfect time for me to build new friendships, try new things, be more social, and just do whatever I want. She invited me out plenty of times, and I only took her up on it a handful of times, because I hadn't grown yet. I was too busy allowing other forces to control me. And I still lived by the phrase, I'll do it next time. Little did I know that little Miss Thing was going to get deployed for over a year to help out in Puerto Rico and then some other places after that. The time that I thought I had to build this awesome friendship was no longer there. We still kept in touch and continue to keep in touch to this day, but I can't help but think how much closer we would be today if I appreciated the time back then like I do now. The past 2 years or so of my life, death has tried to make itself known. I've never really experienced it as a kid, not with humans, and not to the depths that I've experienced it more recently. I've seen older people pass, and I understand that death is a part of life, but more recently there have been unexpected deaths. Younger people passing away in tragic ways, catching me off guard. Deaths that I felt and left me devastated. Still, I'm devastated, but have found ways to cope. Either way, it's made me realize that nothing is promised to you. Tomorrow isn't promised, your future isn't promised, the next time that you're counting on isn't promised, so you have to live in the now. Enjoy the present. Make sure you do the things you want to do, say the things you want to say and need to say. Be there for the people who mean something to you. Show up when it counts, make memories, tell people you love them and give them hugs. Make sure people know who you really are and what you stand for, not just what they believe you to be. Make your time count and make it mean something. I spent almost 8 years in a relationship that clearly wasn't healthy or good for me, but I kept thinking that if I put in the time, amongst other things, that the time put in would be well worth it. because I would get what I thought I wanted in the end. In the moment, I felt like it was the right thing to do. But now, as a grown woman, I understand that no amount of time will ever be enough for something that wasn't meant to be. I gave away some of my most crucial years, most of my 20s, in something toxic, when I should have been focusing on myself, stabilizing my future, living, enjoying life, creating happy memories with family and friends. In the end, clarity, growth, and strength came from those 8 years. Very vital lessons were learned, so those years didn't go to waste, but that's a lot of time that I will never get back. A lot of things that I missed out on that I will never get to be part of or experience. I don't regret the journey, I just wish it didn't take me so long to understand the lessons. Time is precious. I no longer sit in negative energy too long. I don't expend energy on grudges or things that don't serve my highest good. I like to spend my time and energy on things that make me feel good and are good for me. I don't feed into the bullshit anymore because I refuse to give my time away to things that don't actually matter. I'd rather be happy and productive. I also learned a lot about spending time with yourself. Alone, just you and your mind. That is some of the most important and undervalued time you can spend. I would have completely argued against it years ago because I hated being alone, but the time that I spent alone has been the most magical time. It's when I truly began to understand myself and fall in love with who I am. Time alone is crucial for growth, strength, and development. It's the best time to get in tune with yourself, realign some things internally and externally. That's why I'm embracing this time that we have during the shelter in place. I'm not ripping and running around as much. I don't have to spend 2 hours of my day commuting to work. I don't have to constantly feel this rushed energy. I am still, I am balanced, and I am grounded. I have time to spend every day on myself, more time for meditation and manifestation, more time to write and brainstorm, despite being in a house full of people and dogs. Even though we are confined at the moment, I feel free. Extra time has given me a sense of freedom, and that's what I need to feel grounded. How is your relationship with time? Do you value it, or are you possibly taking it for granted? What things can you do to have a healthier relationship with time? I'm going to wrap this episode up with a song, Alicia Keys, Like You'll Never See Me Again. My sister and I were watching Red Table Talk, and Alicia Keys spoke about the meaning of that song. Most people think it's about a love interest, but it's actually about her grandmother. Listen to the song. How does it make you feel? During this time of uncertainty and chaos, are you treating your days like the song suggests? Are you loving on those people or things that are important to you? I hope everyone is staying safe and staying home so we can remain healthy. Thank you for tuning in today. Peace and love to you all. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Sable Danielle.